what Taylor did in scaling the unscalable in that micro example and apply it to what I do. Every so often, I'll do a sporadic Q&A live with people in our audience, in Hormozi Nation. What do I do for a living? I invest and advise businesses. So what's a micro version of that? I can advise somebody who would never really have access to me in any other capacity. And so I can still take that and then multiply it to thousands of other people because it scales something that otherwise is unscalable. I couldn't talk one-on-one to every single person in my audience. It'd be impossible. She can't show up at every person's wedding. But she can still simulate the experience, and to the same degree, for me, the reason I put out all this free content and I put out all my books and my audiobooks and the courses, and they're all free. And I do that because that's something that allows me to take a lot of energy, put it into one thing, and then distribute it to everyone. The third thing that I love from Taylor, vulnerability. Even in her songs themselves, she showcases her heart and her looking like the fool or the crazy person more times than not. And so what happens is she becomes still, despite being the superstar that she is, relatable at the lowest level to the girl that's still singing in her hairbrush into the mirror, because they experience the same feelings Taylor does. The many flaws and pitfalls and heartbreaks that she's had over her entire career, and just showing them to the public rather than trying to hide them. Taylor then, instead of having something that everyone can attack, flips it into a power, because if you attack her for that, you attack her entire fan base for experiencing the same thing. And so she builds an army of people that will defend her because they resonate with the experience that she shared.
Taylor Swift fans may have taken her hit song Shake It Off too literally.
Yeah, it actually caused the equivalent of a 2.3 magnitude earthquake, and it lasted several hours. That's a new record.
Okay, Alex, how are you vulnerable? All the stories I tell, the vast majority of them are me fucking up and losing all my money twice. She talks about relationships and love a lot. And so her equivalent of bankruptcy and losing everything is getting her heart broken. And so for me, I talk about the first time I whiffed on a sale, the first time I trusted a partner and didn't work, the first time I had all my money stolen, the second time I had my money stolen, the multiple businesses that I had to shut down, when I had 9 businesses and had to shut 8 of them down so that I could go all in on one. These are all stories that aren't like the fun cover of Forbes. Instead, they're just like, hey, I also was a small business owner and made a lot of mistakes that you might too. And so for another small business owner who hears that, they might be like, I've been there too. And then it takes something that seems crazy and unattainable, like a multi-$100 million portfolio, and makes it relatable. Thing number 4 from Tay-Tay, I'm just gonna put ownership. So one of the things that Taylor has done differently than many musicians is that she's a shrewd businesswoman. It's also why she's top 20 on Forbes for wealthiest women in general, which she doesn't talk about as much, but girl knows how to make money. Her last Eras tour grossed over $1 billion on one tour. So what she's done is she independently publishes her stuff. And this has been something I think she's worked towards, because in the beginning she sold our music and she had to buy it back, lots of drama. But she has moved towards this action. And because now she has more money and she has more leverage because she has such a big audience, she can negotiate different deals that other people wouldn't be able to. Now it's like, okay, Alex, well, how do I do something like that? Or how did you do something like that? Right off the bat, I could have gone to a regular publisher to publish all my books. Like that would have been pretty much the normal path for the business influencer who wants to get the New York Times bestseller, whatever. And so for me, I give away chapters left and right. I make it free on my podcast. No publisher's like, wait, I want to buy the rights to your book so that you can only give it away for free. But I want to do that. And so in order to maintain control, I maintained ownership over my stuff, because even in the short term, I could have taken a few $1 million check from a publisher just up front to write the book. But I'd so much rather own it for the rest of my life and be able to give it away as I see fit, because I know, at least for me, conditions change. And me trying to make a decision today for something that I'm gonna have to live with for the rest of